Today, I want to talk about a video that I saw recently. Like, it's a while ago because I wanted to make this video, but actually I didn't because I had a lot of things on my mind, and now I'm ready to make it, and I'm really looking forward to making this one. This is actually a mixed video, and it's about ex Scientologists with Jehovah's Witnesses, ex Jehovah's Witnesses. And I was really looking forward to watch the video because it's a really nice combination of religions or like actually cults together. But we're gonna find out. I'm gonna watch the video. It's a reaction video, so I will appear on top of the screen, and you'll see me back there. And let's watch it together. I was very excited about this one, and yeah, let's watch it. I don't know what I'm getting, so let's get into it. Okay. Let's go.
Back to the UK messed with, right? I've had to have calls with my airline. If it was legal, they would kill you.
Step forward if you agree with the prompt. My former religion was more of a cult than a faith.
I mean,
They're all sitting down.
What separates, I think,
So they're actually all gonna sit down. It's clearly a video from Jubilee, and it's a middle ground video. I really enjoy those videos, but usually it's very, very aggressive towards one and the other. But usually it's like an atheist and a Christian, for instance, and it can be very fiery. So I don't know what's gonna happen, but let's see what's next. I saw everyone sitting down with the question, my former religion was more of a cult than a faith. So we need to continue.
For the church for 25 years, so I was all in. And the weird thing, it's called the Church of Scientology, but from my experience, none of us thought of it as a faith. It was a practical set of tools you apply in your life, and this is science, baby. These were literal truths we were learning. And so I never, ever thought of it as a belief system.
I used to work in recruitment in Scientology, and then one of the things we used to say is that it's not like Christianity where you have to believe in the Bible. Someone tells you the story of Jesus and you either choose to believe it or not. Scientology is something you apply, you do, and it works. So at its core, I don't think it's necessarily a faith. It's an applied religious philosophy is how it was.
Okay, so Scientology is not necessarily a very spiritual thing, but it's an applied, like a very mental thing. It's not stated as a religious experience, or they make you want to see it's common sense. And I didn't know about that when it comes to Scientology. So that is interesting to me. Okay, I want to know more. So it is not a dogmatic, it says dogmatic religion. It's actually like a common sense type of thing. Like, if you do this, you rewire your brain to become as intelligent as actually the leader. That's something that I do know, but I want to see more of this.
Yeah.
No pressure.
As far as cult goes, I mean, we had an RPF. I mean, the Rehabilitation Project Force is a sort of sequestered away prison system that they would put you in. I did that for 3 years, and it's like talking to people outside, you run everywhere you go, you don't speak unless you're spoken to. It was like a little prison system, and it was hard physical labor, about 12 hours a day. That's when you're confessing your sins and all the stuff you've done in your life. And so,
And past lives.
and past lives. There were 1,000 hours of recorded confessionals on my part to get through that program over those 3 years. There were a couple of people who were...
Okay, I'm gonna stop it right there because I didn't know that. Like, what was it? RBF? RPF? RPS? I don't know. I just, that is crazy. That is a prison system. They're talking about their actual prison system. He's also talking about that's actually a cult. It's considered a cult, being a Scientologist. So I wasn't aware of that, actually. I wasn't really aware of what Scientology was like. So it's very applied, and it's it's very, so it is very based on punishment, I see. So that's crazy. I think that's crazy. That is awful to live like that, right? So physical labor, need to isolate yourself. Well, that sounds familiar. So let's continue watching.
I think another cult element is you can be shunned. Typically, being shunned is about a year. In that time period, you're expected to come, sit in the meeting group, not say hello to anyone, leave, not say goodbye to anyone, and you're supposed to come and do that for a year while no one looks at you, no one talks to you, not even your friends and family
So you
that are
can't talk to your
closest
family
you.
during that time?
If you live at home and you're a minor, you can talk to your family.
But they probably don't treat you the
Limitedly,
same.
but not about spiritual
There's
things.
still, yeah.
Many people still can't eat with their family as kids who are shunned by their own family. So I've interviewed people who had like refrigerators, little mini fridges put in their room where they could eat out of so that they didn't have to, cross-contaminate the rest of the house with
But
their
it's only for a
presence.
year, right? No big deal?
Well,
As long as you're doing everything to come back.
during that year, you're expected to submit letters to that body of elders begging to be reinstated, and that they're almost never going to accept your initial letter.
So I've seen enough because I know enough about this as well. Being shunned. The Jehovah's Witnesses in this case, so the Jehovah's Witnesses are sitting left and the Scientologists are sitting right. I love the part of the Scientologists as well because I was not really aware of them. But with the Jehovah's Witnesses, it's kind of clear. Of course, for me, it's very clear. Shunning is a thing that Jehovah's Witnesses do. And they're also talking about that it's a cult experience that we're going through. And that's true. Personally, I haven't experienced shunning really. Maybe just people being more uninterested in me because I was not going to Kingdom Halls and stuff. And also, I see my parents not really interacting that much with me anymore. Yeah, so the shunning practice. It's getting interesting, especially the whole story about the mini fridge in the room for young people. That is crazy. I never had that before. I just already shunned myself from everything that was going around. I was like, this is not my thing. So I remember as a child sitting upstairs quite a lot, and that is because I couldn't. It was painful, it was harmful, a lot of yelling, a lot of needing to be in a certain way for the outside world, and also there were of course alcohol problems in my family. So I wasn't feeling safe. So I wanted to distance myself from everything, But the whole fridge, that's crazy. That's crazy. Because you're not believing in what we believe in, you have to distance yourself. We are distancing from you. You are the problem. You are bad in our eyes. So that's crazy. That's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy.
They can't risk us learning about psychology or
Exactly.
sociology
No.
or
It was too
history.
dangerous, yeah.
Why I was told, why do you want to go to college? L. Ron Hubbard did everything. He learned everything there is to know. You just come to Scientology and learn what L. Ron Hubbard, because he knows, he learned the best. He's crazy. Isn't it crazy? I was born into Scientology as a third generation, so my mom was raised completely in Scientology. So as a child, I was taught by her.
Shaped your whole worldview.
Exactly.
Like, you don't see outside of it.
Okay, that is very interesting because she is talking about L. Ron Hubbard. What a strange person, or like a strange ideology. Like, how do you say that? Like, what is this actually? It is a person that is considered the person that knows everything. It's the all-knowing, basically, what they say about God, the all-knowing. So he's considered the all-knowing for Scientologists. That's crazy. Super crazy to me. And like knowing, one person knowing everything in the world, like how can you even believe that? I don't know. That's so, and she was raised, this woman with the red hair, she was raised inside this whole thing, and her mom was in there, and it's that is, that is so weird. That is so weird. Okay.
And you might have not even done it in this lifetime. You might have done it in another lifetime. You might have done whatever the crime is 1 billion years ago. And I'm curious, did Jehovah's Witness have a past life thing? Do you guys believe, do they believe in reincarnation?
No.
No, okay.
Yeah, they pretty much teach that you're just a worthless human being.
Okay.
From dirt you are, to dirt you return. You're just here to live out your life until Armageddon comes.
Okay.
You're
So
good for
we were a
nothing slaves.
doomsday cult,
Okay.
through and through.
Well, Scientology kind of is too, but on the other end.
We were waiting for a physical destruction of planet Earth at any given time. Like as a child, a storm would come, and I'm like, it's happening. I'm not ready. I'm gonna get destroyed.
Yeah.
So we were very physically like scared of a doomsday coming to Earth.
Okay, so yeah, like it's an interesting question actually that the Scientologists, ex-Scientologists, are experiencing, that they still have to pay and suffer for what they have done in their past lives. And Jehovah's Witnesses do not believe in past lives. I can remember that. It's interesting. I'm thinking about it, like past lives. No, the current life, like maybe even death, is more important. Yeah, the Armageddon part is something they're constantly focused on. It's kind of weird. Like the suffering in life is, like she says, dirt. That is basically what it is, and the suffering is gonna end after life and in heaven, and that is, or like a paradise, Armageddon, and then the paradise. That is what every Jehovah's Witness is looking forward to, and a lot of older Jehovah's Witnesses are doubting a lot. So a lot of people start doubting because their teachings aren't, the Jehovah's Witness teachings aren't really a good thing, not really good for people. But then they are also waiting to die so they can live forever. And that is very interesting, very strange as well.
My former religion cost me relationships I still mourn today.
Let's see who's gonna sit.
I haven't talked to my mom in 8 years. And it's because I don't want children to be abused, and I don't want that to happen in our family anymore. And so in Scientology, as we've talked about, I'm a suppressive person. I have been deemed an enemy of Scientology, and Scientology will tell everybody who listens that if you are against Scientology, you must be so...
We're into the next part, is my former religion cost me relationships are still mourned today. Yeah, one person was still standing, so let's see what they're up to. I really wonder what is going on, but I can, maybe with the Jehovah's Witness one, I can almost smell what's gonna happen, right?
My mom didn't talk to me for 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, didn't know anything else. I grew up in it, so I had zero. I woke up when I was 27 and a half, and I was just about ready to like devote my life to the headquarters in New York. And then when you go down the rabbit hole and the Matrix pill is swallowed and you can see everything, and your own family won't even talk to you, your friends and family, it's a psychological torture tactic to do all of that to people. It's meant to torture people. If you take a puppy and throw it outside during winter in a storm, it's going to come crawling back. That's the whole thing. And they get off on seeing you crawl back. There were some really good people.
Yeah, so shunning, or like waking up. In this case, it seems like he woke up and he is experiencing that he can see what is actually happening, and people don't like that, and you're thrown out. Out of the warm experience, the love that you thought was there. And he said like he was getting ready to join important groups, within the Jehovah's Witnesses, and he is very hurt by how his life is right now. So he woke up when he was 27, That's interesting. 27, 27. I like that. That is a very crucial age usually, and yeah, like people usually start to realize certain things at that type of age, like around 30, which is interesting. I see that more often happening, that people are choosing different paths when they are turning around 30 or something. So yeah, very sad sad experience for him. Let's go on. Let's go on. Let's go.
I knew kind of my timeline with that, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of relationships I grieve, and I think the main reason I grieve them is because I realized the level that I was brainwashed at, and I know how so many people in my life that I love and care about, like how they're operating off that level of brainwash, right. And I don't think that there's ill intentions. I think a lot of them do believe that they're doing the loving.
That is a really good point. Like the brainwashing, I think it's not being talked about enough with the Jehovah's Witnesses. She's one of the Jehovah's Witnesses, and I think it's not being talked about enough. The brainwashing, that you, once you get into the actual life, like society, you're getting in there, you think that you are what you believe, what you do, it also forms into your Jehovah's Witnesses beliefs is also going as a red thread through other things in your life, and you think you're right about those things. I've seen that, and I'm going to talk about it more in the future, because I already got an idea about how to express that, but more about the brainwashing and how you get onto this earth and what you learn to believe, and then what a society is like, it's very painful if you consider what has happened to you, what is really, and also why people don't understand, or why people are not really liking you. They don't really. And now I'm also at a point in my own life where I feel that I really want to discover what it's like to, I was still walking away from society and stuff, and now I'm like, okay, what is it like? And I can now it's a choice, it's a choice to discover certain things. I like that. I enjoy as people are passionate about discovering certain things that they want to discover, and it doesn't matter if they are doing it for a while or if they're doing it forever from now on. But doesn't necessarily mean that you have to do it forever from now on. But it's just like an experience that people have, and I enjoy that as well. And I think I have that as well. And it's very sad that the point that you feel that you have been brainwashed, and still difficult sometimes, that point. But I think at that age, like a young age, it's more difficult. I've been so mad at my parents. I've been so angry with my parents, because you think that they're some kind of perfect person that wants the best for you. And then, like she said, they want the best for you, but it was very unhealthy for you, and they did not see that. So yeah, I very much understand that, the brainwashing.
My former religion protects abusers.
Most of my maternal family are Scientologists, generational Scientologists, and we also have a problem in my family with generational molestation. And my grandfather may or may not have started it, but he was in Scientology, and then his son. And this has been found out over the years. Different victims, different generations, different times. And the solution in that moment, Scientology decides that it would be bad for our family to send the abuser to jail, because in jail or prison, they will not be rehabilitated. So instead, they internally handle it. They say, our technology is going to cure this person. So they charge that person money. They monetize the crime, and then they do a bunch of stuff, and they get absolved. The police are never called, authorities are never told, and in most cases, those children are put back into the same environment with that abuse.
Crazy. That is, yeah, that sounds so, like, they also shoving it under the rug. Like in this case, it monetizes this abuse. These victims are not being heard because they can do whatever the frick they want. They can do whatever the frick they want. What the hell? That is crazy. That is so sad. Like, and it's interesting what she says, like, generational molestation, basically. That is awful. You know what is happening, and it continues. It keeps on continuing from generation to generation. I also see certain things still happening from my family into now, and I'm like, this is not something that the kids from now have to experience as well, you know? It's, I don't know, this is so sad. This is people are freaking insane. Just to feel better about themselves, just to feel like they have no problems on their sleeve, like the whitewashing of bad things happening. That is so sad.
You all have that two-witness rule.
Yes.
Yeah. Basically, their rule is that if there aren't two witnesses to a crime, whether it's child abuse or something else, then they will just kind of say, well,
it didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
That's so infuriating because most of the most horrible things that happen between two people, and there are no witnesses.
It almost never
Otherwise,
happens that there are two witnesses.
Exactly. So the two-witness rule, interesting story. So there had to be two witnesses around the thing that has happened. May it be abuse, may it be like smoking or whatever a person does. In my experience, then smoking is bad for Jehovah's Witnesses. You can be shunned and disfellowshipped or like ignored when you do such things. They don't like that. The two-witness rule, yeah, there had to be someone else around that saw it happening, and then it can only be that it actually happens. But yeah, like the other one said from Scientologists, but so many things are happening behind closed doors when there's no one around to help you. So many sad and bad things happen there, and that is just, I don't know. It's so awful, and it's also a lot of rules. So many rules. It's, I don't know. Like they say, if religion really was the thing that has created the togetherness of people and love amongst others, this is a very bad example. A very bad example. Because this shit is happening behind closed doors. It's really bad. Believe people, god damn it. If we say we don't believe you, then we are a huge problem. But if you can say whatever the freak you want about us, you know, that things didn't happen, never happened. Oh my god, no, don't start like that. How dare you?
Documents that they have created that show the abuse.
They have a database at headquarters of tens of thousands of reports of child sexual abuse. The lawyers, like the Zalkin law firm, who's represented a lot of ex-Jehovah's Witnesses who've been hurt, he's talked about it. And yet they were told years ago to start destroying records in individual congregations. And when states like Pennsylvania go after them, they have to, I don't know, put a...
Scramble.
Yeah, well, Watchtower is told basically you can't destroy anything, right? But we...
Okay, I don't want to say much about this. Actually, they're always like leading up to, let's go, let's destroy this. We need to know everything about this, but this person and what happened, but we're not keeping the documents. We're not keeping that. They want to destroy whatever has happened in the past. So, and then the documents are there. They're keeping it safe and away, which is not safe at all. Because justice will prevail, you know? Jehovah will never change his mind, right? Jehovah will never change his mind. So it will always stay like that. which is kind of interesting because they are changing and they are destroying and they are documents, okay? They do, but Jehovah never changes his mind, right?
My former religion had some good intentions. Keep it going. I would say, like, if you're stepping forward, then that means that you think it had more good intentions than not.
Okay, bye.
Oh, no. That wasn't the question.
I want to be alone here.
Oh, no, it's okay if you're alone.
I know. I'm undecided.
I know,
Okay.
I'm kind of
I'll
undecided
sit here.
too.
I'll do it. I got it. Can I start with a quote I like? One does not have to act with great malice in order to do great harm. And I think that Jehovah's Witnesses think they're saving the world. When my mom became one when I was 8 years old, she was looking for something. She had always been searching for the truth. And I've interviewed a lot of ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, and you see a lot of times it's a mom who has some kids. She wants them to have structure in religion. She wants them to have something good. It's a group of misfits and people that were struggling in life, that have come into something that they thought was going to better their life. Now,
That was like actually funny. My former religion had some good intentions that they were really struggling to. At first, it was like, no, we're not getting there. We're not going to sit there. And then the person said, but it's about that your religion, your former religion, had more good intentions than bad intentions. And then the story of this guy, he was talking about that it was just something that his mother joined, and she was he's like usually misfits people that are not yeah. I just realized that as well, that my first friend group after Jehovah's Witnesses were misfits as well. It was always looking for the misfits in life. I enjoyed them the most, and it was because I couldn't find a place in the world, and now I don't want that anymore. Like, where's the healthy part? I don't see a healthy part. Why do I have to be a weirdo? I don't want to be a weirdo necessarily, but I thought because I already was, then how do you get away from that? I was always very interested in everything that was very different from everything else. So, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's healthy for you or that you're doing it from a healthy place, right?
I talk to a lot of folks, and the question always comes up: what would happen had my parents never been Jehovah's Witnesses?
Yeah.
I don't think I would have had a happy childhood, even if my parents hadn't have joined something that gave them a narrative for their dysfunction. My parents weren't healthy people. They didn't love themselves well. They didn't know how to love. And I don't think that they would have ever just found that on their own. They weren't gonna go get actual therapy.
So true. Same with my parents. So a lot of people say like, but it's not because your parents are Jehovah's Witnesses. It's because they were already abusive, or they were already like misfits, or they already were like problematic people. And yes, they were. But in that sense, then they always needed to turn around the shit that they were doing. Always needed to turn around the things that they were doing into, well, it's not that bad, and it's not that negative, and that didn't happen, and it didn't happen. You see differently. This didn't happen, and so yeah, I wouldn't have been happy either, because unless my parents also would have been in therapy, or they have been open for us as children to do our own thing and develop our own thing, and then with the protection that we needed, that is when it could have been better. But they never look inside themselves. They've never taught us to look inside ourselves. So it was always a problematic experience,
They're looking as targets. There's nothing good about that. And that's why I don't think anything about these people at the top are good. The rank and file, they have best intentions, but they're also taught to be evil, to be manipulative, to be nasty, cover things up, so that way all of our hands are covered in like blood.
Right.
And when I left the organization, I ended up finding out all the elders had either raped kids, committed fraud. There was cover-ups for murder. They would cover up kids who took their lives when they got kicked out. And I knew these people. I grew up with them. And like 8 to 9 times out of 10, the people at the top were just super fucking evil. And I can't do that.
This guy says that people at the top, so my former religion had good intentions. People at the top were, their intentions weren't necessarily that bad. And like, I think it was not necessarily the baddest intention. They have done so many bad things. So many bad things have happened. And to just shove it away, everything that happened, like you said, the jadedness. There is so much darkness under there. Underneath everything that's happening is so-called light, but then darkness under there is never looked at. It's bullshit to them, and it's really necessary to grow. You cannot go higher. You cannot go up and be happy and whatever if you're not looking at the downsides as well. You cannot experience, like, you cannot enjoy higher stuff if you are not looking underneath what's actually happening there. And I know it's because there's some crazy shit happen that we don't know that is happening, but it is happening. You can shove it away whatever the heck you want and create generations of trauma like they're already doing. So
Sexual shame still affects me today.
Man, the Jehovah's Witnesses are all about sexual shame. They're a sex-obsessed cult. They talk about it all the time, from the moment you join or pop out of your family. It's all about shame, guilt, control, and they leave you highly ignorant about it. So when any diddling happens, like, the kids don't know what's going on, and they can hide it. I've had to let go and heal a lot of that through therapy. But when you grow up in a highly controlled environment where everyone's in your business, they know who you like, and they think they have people who they want you to date and get married to and reproduce with, and they try to manipulate and control your whole lives, and you're not allowed to masturbate when you're hitting puberty. And then if you do, you have to tell them, and they ask way too many personal questions in those elder meetings.
Oh, that is crazy. That's like, I got an opposite experience, by the way. I got an opposite experience. Like, he's talking about if the diddling happens, the children don't know what's going on, even though their Jehovah's Witnesses are sex obsessed. I can remember that my parents never talked about it. My parents were never talking about those things, really. They never did. And so I didn't know what was okay and what was not, They were too much busy with themselves, and like, I had to discover everything myself. And I have heard really gruesome stories throughout everything that had happened and in our family, and that was nobody knew about it. Nobody really knew what was happening. So no, nothing was discussed. I've never had to really talk about those things like masturbation or whatever. I remember, I do know that there are some, like, I know a person from my family that had to come clear about it. So, but that is really sad. It's a bad thing. It's very, very extremely controlling. People that want to say that it's not, it really is. This is so bad. And it's so outdated as well.
Yes.
I would never let my child join the religion I left.
One of the first things that I ever had doubts about was when I started thinking about my children as they started to get a little bit older. I have an 8, a 7, and a 3-year-old. And when I first was thinking that if I ever get remarried, I'm gonna be shunned, I had that realization, and I went, There is no planet that I would ever do anything remotely close to this to my children. And the only thing that I did tell my dad when we had like a final conversation when I was being shunned.
Clear. So the Jehovah's Witness, the girl with the red hair, she says like, I would never do this to my kids. She came out about it as well. So that's clear that everyone starts sitting down as well. So it's clear. This has been very hurtful for many people. You know, this is not only my experience. It also happens in other cults. So yeah, a lot of people like us are experiencing hurt from these things.
I am yet to speak to a single ex-Scientologist who was not abused or harmed in some way, shape or form. And for me, that indicates that abuse occurs at every level of this organisation, in every city in which it operates. And for that reason, if I was to have kids, I would never let them go anywhere near Scientology, JWs, any sort of cult. I would educate them on how these groups work, how coercive control works, and hopefully that will defend them from being manipulated.
Okay, so that's very clear. I also keep it at this because I think this is the last part. I would never let my child join the religion I left. And this is also the last part of the video. It's quite a long video. I chose to not discuss the whole video because it's a lot. It's quite a lot. It's going to be a way too long video, or I have to make 2 parts. That's not what I'm really wanting. This guy says he's not letting his kids around Scientologists, JWs, and whatever, all those types of things. And he's educating them on what is actually happening. I think that's a good thing. And educate them on it and what has happened to himself. So, and other people, because now it's clear, right? Thank you very much for watching. This was the last part of the video. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe on my channel. I'm very happy with the engagement you guys are giving me, and I want to reach new people that are Jehovah's Witness or have been in a cult. I want to know more stories. I want to know more about people, what they've experienced. Maybe you're a Scientologist. Maybe you were a Scientologist. Let me know in the comments. I am very curious about your story, and thank you very much for watching. And I say, like I always do, okay, peace.